Yeah, you should all receive the notification. Just click on yes and stay on the meeting.
So now I will share my screen.
36 participants.
Which is like,
yeah.
There. Share my screen. And your screen sharing.
Can you see this presentation?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Nice. So, volunteering in Czechia. In this presentation, we'll go through, like, first of all, telling who is INEX SDA, what do we do. Then we're going to have a small word about Jule, who is here, and Alex, who is me. Then we will do a small quiz about Czech Republic. It's going to be 10 questions of general knowledge about the country to see if some of you already did their homework or not. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about the concept of a work camp and volunteering. How does it work? Who is who? What are the different roles in a work camp? Then we're going to show you a map of Czech Republic to see where all of the work camps are located. And then into the registration form that you received, there was a possibility to like ask some questions. And we took care of those questions and we will try to answer them. Then there will be some more time for Q&A, because sometimes when you like listen the question of the others, you came up yourself with new questions. So we will be there to answer them as good as we can. And then for the last part, it's going to be like tips and tricks about Czech Republic, how to, like, which food to taste, which place to see, how to move in Czechia, or how to handle the money also. And so this is more or less the plan of the presentation. So without further ado, we can go to our first slide, who is INEX SDA, or in this case, what is INEX SDA? So we are a non-profit and non-government organization. We were founded in 1991. And what do? We organize work camps in Czechia, but not only. We also send Czech volunteers abroad. And we also have a mission of like education and training, usually using the non-formal method. So we can have like trainings for potential camp leaders in Czechia, but also for just general person of our community. On the right, you can see this is our team. I'm not in the picture, unfortunately, and neither Jule, but let's say that if you look into the background, you might see us.
If you look close.
Yeah, you have to look really close.
I'm there.
Yeah, Nicole is there. Nicole is on the call. She's my colleague, and she's in red here. You don't have to look at the background.
Yeah, Nicole is our incoming coordinator. So she coordinates all of the incoming applications and also work camp projects in the Czech Republic. So very important for you.
Yep. So now we're gonna present ourselves, but as we say, ladies first.
Ladies first. I guess I'm a lady. So yeah, my name is Jule. I was actually before last year in Alex's position, like where Alex is now. So I was an ESC volunteer from the European Solidarity Corps, and I was helping Nikki with the incoming applications. And I also participated in a training, in an intercultural training with INEX like almost 3 years ago. So that was my first contact with INEX SDA. And I like my contact with volunteering. It's I think I volunteered almost all my life in like several areas, like to kind of combine every area that I love or like to work in, because it's quite diverse. And I think volunteering is one of the great and many options to actually get to know, broaden your horizon, like without having to have, like, it's very accessible. and it can change a lot your perspective because it makes it so easy. And I am still here in Czech Republic because I decided to live here, and I feel home, and maybe you will too. Maybe not, but well, at least a few people quite like it here. And my work camp experiences, they also started in 2019. I went to a work camp in Japan. It was my first work camp experience. And then I was leading a few work camps in Germany and also last year in the Czech Republic. So yeah, this is my connections to work camp. I really like them, and you will soon also find out why. And I really hope that during your experience you will enjoy it as much as I did back then as my first experience. Yeah, so that's from my side.
I have to say that if after 2 or 3 weeks you decide to stay in Czech Republic forever, you're gonna be the most impulsive person ever. But I would love to meet you.
Maybe.
Maybe, who knows? Then a little bit more about me. So as Jule said, no, this is what I like to say, is that this year I stole Jule's job, because when you are an ESC volunteer, you can only stay for 1 year into the volunteering position. And so like Jule did 1 year, and here I came afterwards. So for me, it has been 4 months since I live in Prague and in Czech Republic. And I have to say that so far, I really like it too. Maybe I will also stay after 1 year, who knows. Regarding my experience with work camps, I took part in one. It was in 2019. And this is actually how I fell in love with volunteering. It took place in Luxembourg, so it was not too far from my house because as it's written here, I feel home in Belgium, and Belgium and Luxembourg are really close by. And funny story, I discovered this opportunity by reading the local newspapers. But anyway, and no, I'm in Czech Republic now, linked to what I wrote, what I read into the newspaper this day. So anyway, it's funny. And this summer, I will be a camp leader for the first time this time, and I will lead actually 2 work camps. The one I will lead, maybe some of you are already registered to those one, is historical heartbeats for historical brewery, which takes place in August, and another one in July, which is called a farm studio. So if you go there, we'll definitely see each other back there. And yeah, as I said, I feel home in Belgium, and I start to feel home in Czechia too.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So you also have many good advice for Czech, living in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And so now we're gonna do a small quiz about the country. Of course, Nicole will probably win because she's been living in Czech Republic for a long time. And actually also I showed her the question and the answer, so she will probably get everything right. But let's do the quiz now. Yeah. So normally now on Zoom, you should have seen a quiz pop up, and you can start to answer the question, I think.
Yes.
Okay, so far only bad answers.
We are here to clarify everything tonight. Like, don't worry about it. Nice. Okay. Can you?
Yeah. Okay. This one.
Yeah.
They don't see this, right?
No. Dun, 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 dun. And there are more questions like, yeah, perfect. You're getting there. Yay. So the first ones are already finished. Nice, it's great. So it should be actually being popped up, but it can happen if you just entered the meeting, for example, that it's not shown to you, but
Good one, Mihaela.
It should have been a pop-up, but no worries, like we can go through the questions like all together a little bit and we reveal the answers. I mean, yeah.
So it's not. Where are the questions? Okay. No. Is this a quiz? No. Okay. If you click there, maybe.
Oops. Okay. So far, okay. We're still waiting for a few people to do the quiz.
Yep.
But so far, 13 have already finished. You're superstars. Or maybe also from Czech Republic. Aha.
Okay, so we are still waiting a bit more for everyone to finish the quiz. Can you share the screen with questions? Okay, I think we can.
First of all, we need to stop sharing the whole screen.
Okay.
And then, but it should be there, the whole screen. Cool. So it could be,
I think we have to like end up the poll.
yeah, we have to end the poll first because we have now, like for us, the poll open, but we need to end it first in order for it to be shared. Or can you give us small feedback? Can you see the pop-up window with the poll? Or probably it's only shown to us. Yeah.
We have to bring a towel. Yeah.
For the quiz, like now, like don't worry, like we will come to that later on when we answer like your specific question. So for now, if you have any specific question to your WordCamp, maybe keep them in mind or write them down, because then you will have all the opportunity to ask during the Q&A. Like you can ask us anything, almost.
Yep. So we will now end the poll and go through the questions. We'll see. We will give you all the right answers, because I see actually a lot of the questions have different answers. So end the poll.
Okay. So sorry for them, for those who cannot finish, but you know, we want to continue a little bit, and now we can share actually the results.
Yep.
So now you should see, and we can go through the questions, I guess. First question, do you see the results? Like, because we are sharing them right now. Just a small feedback.
I can see them.
Sorry, again?
I can see them.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. So the first question, what is the currency of the Czech Republic? Is it the euro, the US dollar, the Czech koruna, or the Czech dollar?
Almost 50-50.
Yeah, almost 50-50. And the answer is it's the Czech koruna. Czech Republic do not use the euro. So if you were planning to come here with euro, you would have to change your currency from euro to Czech koruna.
Yes, we will talk about that also definitely later on.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
At the end, we have tips and tricks regarding the money, and we will definitely tell you what's the best way to get Czech crowns.
So second question, should we do like?
Go ahead.
Okay. The second question is like, since when does the Czech Republic exist? And 50% of you chose 1993, and that is correct. Proud of you. Yeah, after the communist regime, was left after the Velvet Revolution, the Czech Republic was founded in 1993. And I guess when you will come to the Czech Republic, you will hear also about the Czech history.
Yep.
Which is very interesting and fresh, when you can say it like this.
Yeah, I agree. Then this question, I see we have a lot of automobile fans, because yeah, you are right. The famous brand coming from Czechia is Škoda, and simply clever. That's what they say about it.
Yeah.
So good job for this one.
Does anyone know where Volvo comes from?
Yep.
Can anyone tell us?
It's a cold country.
And a cool country.
And cool as well.
Anyone knows?
Sweden?
Yeah! Good job.
Famous Swedish conference. Thank you, Michaela. So the next, what is the second biggest city of the country? Well, the first is obviously Prague, but Prague is not the second biggest. The second biggest is Brno, which is, when we show you also the map, in Moravia. So a little bit more to east and south of Czech Republic.
Yep.
And there's a small rivalry normally between people from Prague and between people from Brno, and they have like a small gentle fight. What is the more beautiful and more livable city?
Yeah. A typical joke that you could hear from someone from Prague talking about Brno. It's like the number one thing to do in Brno is to leave. So there's like this kind of joke always coming. So if you have like volunteering near Prague, they will often make jokes about Brno.
If you will mention Brno, or you can go in peace.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
This question, yeah, actually a lot of good answer as well. Is how many hours of learning Czech does it take to have a basic conversation? Was it 600, 1,100, 1,900, or 2,300? And yeah, the majority is right. It was 1,100 hours. On my side, I still have to do many of them to be able to have the basic conversation, because Czech is a hard language for me, because I don't speak like a Slavic language as a mother tongue, so it's pretty hard for me to learn. But you can see actually on my left, Jule, she's been in Czech Republic for 1 year, and she's able to have like a basic conversation in Czech now, even more than basic, right? Yeah.
In some areas, but it's a hard language, so no pressure.
Yeah, it's a hard language. But like before the WordCamp, we will provide you with an info sheet, and on the info sheet there will be like key Czech words, like for example, how to say "I," or "I don't speak Czech," or "Do you speak English?" and all these kind of words. So you're going to be provided with like basic checks and how to maybe sometimes go out of awkward situation by saying, "I don't understand you."
All right, next question. What are the two most
popular sports? Sorry.
Yes, a popular sport in the country. So this is quite interesting. So we have a close, well, almost close race between chess and basketball. Okay, or
Right.
football and ice hockey. And who has ever been in the Czech Republic or who's living here? It is definitely football and ice hockey. Very like many games throughout the season. You can visit. You can go to one of the big stadiums that are here in Prague or in Brno. We want to include Brno people. No. And yeah, you can watch the game. It's really famous. And a few years ago, the Czech ice hockey team was like really nailing the scores. The national team. So yeah.
And this year, actually, there's been like the World Hockey Ice Hockey Championship, I should say, and Czech Republic came in third place, so they won a bronze medal. So they're really good at it. Concerning football, let's not talk about that.
Well, they won against the Netherlands last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. All right.
No, here comes the bizarre questions. What do the Czechs do at Easter? When you were reading the answer, you should say no, they should never do that. But you should have said that. Think that, sorry for everyone of the answer. And I'm actually quite surprised that the best answer, like or the one that had the most vote, was they have to crawl under every chair of the house. Well, they don't do that. Maybe they will one day. It can be fun. And the good answer is actually they wipe the girl with wooden stick, but it's like a small wooden stick. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like the idea is to beat the demon that they have in them or something to make them nicer and more beautiful, something like this.
Yeah, and younger.
And younger
And
too.
the branch that they wipe the women and the girls with is called pomlaska. And they have like colorful stripes of fabric on. And after that, the girls and the women give the men some snacks, some sweets, and Easter eggs. So quite an interesting tradition. Comes from very early Celtic times.
Yeah. The first time I heard about this tradition, I thought people were like joking with me, but no, it's real.
It's real. I was here this Easter.
Did you get bitten?
Yes.
Oh.
But very gently.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right, let's proceed to the 8th question. How many people live in Czech Republic? 5 million, 8 million, 11 million, or 15 million? And most of you were correct. Exactly. It's 11 million or around 11 million people in the Czech Republic. And I think in Prague, 1.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, around the 1/8 of the German population. Because yeah, I come from Germany, so it was compared.
Yeah, it's more or less 1.3 million in Prague and 10% in Brno. Then it was, I'm actually quite surprised. It was a question about Čeština, which means Czech language. What is the meaning of láska? And you had the possibility to choose love, money, friendship, or potato. I'm actually pretty surprised that someone selected potato, but why not? It's probably Nico. And yeah, the good answer was then love. You were right. And now comes the last question about Czech Republic.
Where is Czech Republic located? So maybe this can also be not only geographical, but more like political question. So it's nice, it's not Western and it's definitely not Northern Europe, but actually Czech Republic is located in Central Europe. So this is the like correct location and what you would call it. But of course, like many people say, it combines like Eastern and Central Europe. Some people, but yeah, it's Central Europe for the clarification.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So nice. Surprised positively, and I hope that we can prevent some misunderstandings or get more clarification and more light on the Czech Republic itself and how to volunteer there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So thank you for participation. And now we actually wait. There are some questions in. Okay. So we will ask you some questions. Only 2. Do you know about the raising hand function in Zoom? Right. I just have to make full screen. I will stop share. 1 moment.
I see that Mathilde is already raising her hand.
Awesome, perfect, or some reactions. That's nice. So when you have, for example, on the footer, on the bottom line of your Zoom, there is the smiley face with reactions. And when you click there, on the lower function, like a button, it says raise hand. So now to answer the questions, the two, you can click on that. Okay, you can unraise also your hand. Okay, perfect. And first question is, which ones of you already registered at a WordCamp in Czech Republic? Okay. Many.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So as you can see, it's a lot already.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So around half of you have risen their hands. So that's nice. So maybe you some of you will also meet. Maybe during a WordCamp already. That's amazing. Okay, you can unraise your hand and prepare for the second question. Perfect. And we are also quite curious about for whom it is the second or more WordCamp experience. So who already participated at a WordCamp? Raise your hand. So it's like around 11 people. Natalia, Michaela, Mohammed, Neil, wow, Christiana, Milan. Nice. Okay, so actually quite a few, like around 1/3 of you already participated. So maybe you can imagine what comes through, and maybe you can also answer some questions that others have at the end of the meeting about what a WordCamp can bring to you. So happy that you will want to continue the experience in the Czech Republic. It's nice. All right, okay. So you can unraise your hand again. And we can continue now with what actually is a WordCamp.
Yep, that's the next topic. We're gonna talk you a bit more about what exactly a WordCamp is, because there was quite a lot of person for who it is gonna be the first time volunteering in just volunteering. Personally, I think that Czechia is a great choice because there's a lot of beautiful things to see. And so, yeah, no, let's get a bit deeper into the concept of a WordCamp. Should I go?
Yes.
Okay. So what is a WordCamp? A WordCamp is, first of all, non-profit and meaningful projects. It is a camp in coexistence within the community, often local community that will take part into the project that you will help at. And we also believe that it's also a really good way for personal development, especially that you will be living with stranger for maybe from 3 days to 3 weeks, basically, in an unknown country where you might not be familiar with the language or the culture. You will be actually also forced not forced, but you will work with the other volunteers. So I believe you will also like learn a lot more about you and how you handle like unfamiliar situation. About non-profit and meaningful projects, yeah, of course, all projects, they are volunteering, so it means that you will not receive any money for the work you will do, and it is a meaningful project, so it means that it has some meaning behind the project, and that you will actually really make a difference within the local community, and that your work will truly like be valuable for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is the most, let's say, the groundwork, the mission or the vision of WordCamps in general. And now we come a little bit more to some key information. So what will await you in Czech WordCamp? It will be around like 6 to 15 participants normally, plus 2 camp leaders, sometimes also 1 camp leader. It depends on the size.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, if you don't hear us, you can like refresh the page, or maybe try to plug your headphones. Can also work.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki, for answering. So it can be 6 or 15 people from all over the world, actually. And we can see also now, like we have participants here at the online talk, like from Mexico, but also Germany, like from many places. it lasts, as Alex already mentioned, like 3 to 21 days. So it depends which WordCamp you chose or you would like to choose. It depends. It's quite flexible. Yeah, the work is voluntary, non-paid. Usually 6 hours per day around you will work, and 5 days a week, and 2 free days. So you also have some time to, let's say, explore the Czech Republic, do some nice trips within the nature or some cities, and you have the time for this. The accommodation will be normally quite basic, so you cannot expect like hotel conditions, except for like one WordCamp. I know that you will have rooms actually, and beds, and bathroom, and washing machine. But that's not normally the case. Sometimes it's like a campsite as well. You will be responsible for cooking most of the time. There are also WordCamps that you will be cooked for, but mainly it's like your group that will take care of the cooking, and you will organize as a group yourself. So, which is also nice. It can be challenging, but also very nice experience. And also the hygiene, it is definitely like up to you. It's like a small community you will build there. Yeah, and in the free time you can do like explore the regions, or do some cultural activities, get in touch more with the local communities or with the people who live there, and do some nice things together. And the common language is normally English, because there are people from many places all over the world, and the common language is usually the English language. Yeah. Exactly. And we have also like some basic rules for organizing a WordCamp. Index SDA, of course, like as umbrella organization who like coordinates the whole WordCamps. Then the local partner, who is responsible like for the project and what kind of project they have, and the accommodation and stuff. So the local partner provides it to you. Of course, you as the volunteers, as you can see. And then also the camp leaders. And the camp leaders, important to stress, are normally your contact persons if it comes to questions like where to meet, what to bring exactly, and basically also the travel, like when you arrive to the point or when you depart. Everything like this concerning the WordCamp and the travel to the WordCamp can be answered and asked to your camp leaders. Later on, which you will receive information about with the info sheet. Yep. So when you have the info sheet, you will have the contacts of the camp leader, and you can ask then everything also to the camp leader. But today we're also, of course, here to answer some of your urgent question or other curious question. We're happy to answer everything that we can. So
and also
far.
to give you some tips and tricks about the Czech Republic.
Exactly. All right, and now let's have a look, an overview
at the map of Czech Republic. Actually, on the map, every different dot is one of the WordCamp that we organize at. And to give you a small overview, this is Czech Republic. Over there is Germany. Over there is Austria. Over there is Poland, and right there, more or less, Slovakia. So here is the capital of the city, Prague. And the biggest village of the country, Brno. It's not true, it's the second biggest city of the country. As you can see, most of the WordCamp, they will take place on the western side of the country. All the time, I think the nearest biggest city are worth a visit. For example, here, Karlovy Vary, if you have the occasion to go to, definitely go there. Pilsen, which is like the Czech capital of beer, you should also definitely visit the place. Also, of course, if you are near Prague, you should go there. It's a beautiful capital city. If you are near Brno, of course, you should go to Prague. It's a beautiful city.
We're too Prague-sided.
I haven't been to Brno yet personally, but I think it's also worth a visit. I know that Jule has been living there for 4 months at the beginning of the year. So is Brno worth a visit?
Yes, definitely. And you have very good wine.
Yeah.
And if you come close to autumn, also very nice young wine, specialty. Yes, so just to have some positive
Yeah.
It's about Brno. Brno is a nice city to visit as well.
Yeah, it's just jokes. Yeah, actually, in this part of the country, this is like the Rhine region of Czech Republic. So if during your free time activities you would go to a pub or I don't know for a hike and or just even to the supermarket, you should like definitely try to taste some Czech wine, which I have tasted and I gotta say it was pretty good. And what else can you say about the map?
Maybe what kind of work camps we have, just shortly.
Yep.
Like the focus of the work camps, because in general, in the Czech Republic, there are like 4 different focuses or main topics for the work camps, and like many of you maybe also have chosen regarding or according to a topic. It is it can be firstly like a community-based work, so helping out the community with some buildings or some reconstructions, let's say.
Yep.
Help the landmarks, which is focus on renovation or rebuilding, also sometimes memorials or castles. And Czech Republic has many castles. Like usually when you go to visit a Czech village, there's always some castle or a bridge or a church that you can that you can visit.
Or even
yeah.
a brewery, which is
Or
like
brewery.
the work camp that I will lead to. So I will say it one more time. If you will come to like the one which is about rebuilding a brewery, I will be your camp leader. So we're looking forward to see you there.
Exactly. And then there's also the focus helping the people. It's a more social focus, and you will work together with people or with people with or without also impairments or disabilities. And then there's also ecological focus, which is like help the nature. So there are many national parks in Czech Republic, and also many let's say nature memorials or protected areas.
Yep.
So it's really worth working there, and also getting to know more about environmental protection and stuff. So yeah, this is about where the work camp is located, and we will come to your questions that you ask in advance, like during your registration. Yeah, so
I will get through them.
Yes.
So if by going through the questions you come up with new questions, don't hesitate to ask them at the end of like the pre-asked question, and I will try, or we will try to answer them. We'll also go through the question that were in the chat. So for example, here there was already a question, which is where is the castle? And so
everywhere.
Yeah.
The castles are
this can be a good
everywhere.
answer. We have a lot of work camps about building castle actually. They are located in Grabstein and Vesely.
Grabstein and Hauenstein,
as well,
the teenage work camp, but
And,
maybe there are no.
I think this one is like Hohenstein, a castle, and I think
there is Hauenstein.
Yeah, this is Hohenstein. Okay. And the other castle, I actually don't know exactly where they are located because we have so many projects. I kind of mix them up. But I think they are somewhere here.
Yeah, you can also find like all of the information about the work camps on our website. We can, in the end, we can go through it together if you want, like how to find the work camp database. Also, if you haven't applied yet for work camp. Yeah. So no worries about it. But thank you for the question, Luigi. Yeah. It was a good question. Hard question. All right.
So now your questions. I will move this a bit. So answer to the question about contact of other volunteers. Yep, indeed, some of the questions we received were about you already have the contacts of the other volunteers, and you will definitely receive them. Actually, this is one of the job of the camp leaders. When he will make the info sheet, he will also create a group chat with all the different volunteers, connect them through email. Depends a bit. I think it's email, right?
Email, Facebook, like the camp leaders, they will receive your email addresses, so they can send you, for example, either a link to a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group or whatever you would prefer, and they will definitely be in touch with you and try to connect you also in advance. Yeah, exactly.
So there was a question: can I organize with other volunteers to go together from Prague? Yes, so in the info sheet, there will also be like a detailed way of reaching the location of the WordCamp from Prague. So of course, once you will know more or less when your flight will arrive in the country, you can like synchronize with other volunteers to try to take the same bus and arrive at the same time at the WordCamp location. So yeah, it will definitely be possible, and you will receive the contacts of the other volunteers before actually coming to Czech Republic. Possibility of having the PowerPoint. Yes, it is possible. I will share it through mail. I think I can send it. Like we all have your emails, so I think that tomorrow I will send you the PowerPoint, so you can go through it again if you would like to.
Exactly. And regarding the travel to the WordCamp, as you could see on the map, the WordCamps can be quite sometimes like far away from the cities, so it can take some time, but definitely when you receive the info sheet, the camp leaders make sure that you will have a detailed plan how to get there and how long it will take, so you can organize your travels better. And if you have any questions regarding the travels to the WordCamp specifically, you can definitely approach the camp leaders.
Yep.
With this.
When will the info sheet be sent out? Like how many days, week before?
Okay. Maybe we just keep the questions and then we will answer in the Q&A.
Okay.
Yeah, afterwards. Okay, so thank you for your questions. You can collect them there, and we will go through the questions in the chat afterwards. So after we answered the questions we have already prepared. So yeah, feel free to collect some questions in the chat as well. Thank you.
Oh, okay, you already changed yourself. So how to get there? There was a question, what will be the place to meet us directly in the camp or someone pick us up? Most of the time, the meeting point is directly at the location. So you can, most of the time, this is how it works. We give you like a place to go, for example, the bus stop of the village or the small city or the town. And then from there, you would have to walk a bit to the location, and right over there will be directly already other volunteers and the camp leaders that will actually arrive 2 days before the WordCamp starts. And so they will be there to welcome you, and will also be the local partner. So you can directly, in most of the cases, go to the WordCamp. In some of the cases, it's actually like a point. For example, the one at Hohenstein is like at a bus stop, and then the local partner will come and pick you up. So it depends on the info sheet. It will be like precise there, but most of the time, keep in mind that this is directly at the place of the WordCamp.
Mm-hmm. And regarding the info sheet, you will receive them like at the latest 4 weeks before the start of the WordCamp. So it always depends when your WordCamp starts, but like 1 month in advance is usually like the deadline where you will receive the information. And if you need the information even before, because of like booking the flights or like finding cheaper connections, you can also like contact
Yes, you can contact us.
Yeah.
So then the second question was, is it cheaper to fly directly to Prague or to go to a neighboring country? So I would say that Prague is like deserved by local airlines, like the airport. They receive airlines such as Ryanair or Wizz Air. I would advise you to always keep using like a comparison tool. Personally, I use Google Flights, and they always like show the flights of the different companies and like when they arrive and the price of them. Also regarding flying directly to Prague or to a neighboring country, sometimes it can be also like more interesting to look for flights that would go to Munich or to Vienna and then to take the train to Prague. But I think that in most cases it's not more, there's not that much more of advantage of going to Munich or to Vienna. But just if the prices are really high, you can definitely check those two cities and then to take the train. The connection between Munich and Prague and Vienna and Prague by train are actually really frequent and like really good deserved, so there's no problem. And then the last question, someone said that his WordCamp is not far from his home, and he was asking if he can just come to the WordCamp by car, and of course, no problem. if take your car if you can, or if you want, should I say.
Yeah, and maybe even like when you connect, the camp leader connects you with the other volunteers, maybe there's possibility to pick some other volunteers up, like maybe.
Yep.
They would be happy, I guess, if it's not too far. So yeah.
Yep. So we can go to the next questions.
Maybe just have a quick look at the chat. Maybe they're related in the end.
So I will check the chat. How long is Prague from the place we will be? We can definitely talk about this a bit later, Marie, because I don't know exactly which camp you are. Is there any reason? Okay, I will answer this one definitely later on. About Madrid, can you recommend a hotel in Prague if I want to visit after the work camp?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go through them later on.
Yes. All right. Okay, we'll keep them in mind, and then you can ask also all the specific questions too. Okay. All right. Okay. Next slide.
So, how to move inside the Czech Republic? So we received 2 questions regarding this. What transportation did you use to get around the Czech Republic, and is English essential? So regarding the transportation, here I fell in love with the trains. I think the trains they have here are really amazing. For example, I was a bit surprised because they even have like the Wi-Fi in them. There's even like someone coming between the seats to see if you want to have coffee or tea, of course, for some money. But like there was some service inside the train, so I think they're really good. And especially like they would go deep inside the country. They would not only like connect between big cities. Most of the time there is also like a regional trains that you can take to go to more, I would say, small town or even sometimes village. So I would definitely advise you to use the train. And then they also have like a good bus system, like between the small villages, but also there are 2 main companies that made bus journeys between big towns, which are RegioJet and Flixbus too. We'll definitely give you some links into the tips and tricks part. Then about moving inside Czechia, if you plan to visit Prague, there's an application called Pidlitaška. It actually combines like all the means of transport you can find in Prague with the bus, the tram, the metro. You can even take like a funicular to go up Prague. So it combines everything. And if you ever go to Prague and want to move around Prague, you have to use Pidlitaška. But keep in mind that this application is not for the whole country, it's just for Prague. For the whole country, you should mostly use IDOS. I'm also going to drop a link in the chat at the end of this presentation. This one also combines the bus and the trains, and you can pretty much go anywhere inside the country with it.
Yeah, and it's good when you use IDOS for scheduling your travels, because they are up to date, they are connected. You can see tram, bus, train, everything that you have there, and yeah, it's really useful for planning it.
And then the second part of the question is English essential? And no, it's not if you speak Czech. But as most of you, I guess, do not speak Czech, yes, English is essential if you want to like be able to interact with the locals.
I mean, of course, English doesn't need to be perfect. Of course not. The work camp is also there to practice and to also communicate maybe in different ways than with language. You will see when you will be at the work camp, and maybe also the ones who actually participated in the work camp. They will know about the communicative situations. Sometimes in the rural areas in the Czech Republic, usually people do not speak English, but that's why the camp leaders are there for. It's kind of mediator, and also it shows you that you don't necessarily need the language to build a project and build something like a relationship to the locals. It can also happen through a glass of beer.
Yeah, it's
or
true.
Wine. Or also non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, Also, one good tip that I would like to give you is like at the work camp, you should not feel ashamed of speaking English. Almost all the people that you will meet do not have English as a native language, so everyone makes mistakes. There's no Queen's English thing. You just have to go on and speak. That's actually the best way to practice.
Yeah, and actually, if you know a few like Czech words, people appreciate it a lot. Like if you know like ahoy, which is like hey or hello, or dobrý den, some like essentials, people will be like, yeah, appreciate it and value it.
Then there was a second question is, I just want to know how to read the project site and if we will have to do some field trip during our stay. So, but how to reach the project site, it will be like explained in detail into the info sheet. And about the field trips during our stay, I took this as like free time activities that you can do during the weekend. Because yeah, often during the weekend, free time activities are planned. Like for example, go for a walk or to see like the sightseeing around the working place. So those activities during the free time, they are like recommended, suggested, but they are not mandatory. So if you would like to go on your own, it's possible, but I would still advise you to keep going with the group because it's also a really good way to create bonds with person, to create a strong link with them by going into free time activities with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I also think this is what makes a WordCamp like a really good experiment and atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Then there was a question related to the preparation. Should I learn some Czech before? Where can I exchange euro in Czech crowns? So regarding the Czech, I would say that knowing the basics is always nice. So for example, to be able to say hi or goodbye or sorry, I don't speak Czech, or do you speak English? This can definitely be life-saving sentences. But if you really want to go deep inside Czech to be able to talk with the locals, I'm afraid this will be a bit difficult. You will not have that much time because it's really hard language. Yeah.
But a little bit of small talk, you know,
yeah,
it can work. It can work when you use like Duolingo or check the Czech alphabet so you can at least read something. Yep. Recommended, definitely.
Yeah, and then I wrote down Czech with Teresa. This is actually like a YouTube channel. If you go on YouTube and you just go for Czech with Teresa, she has oh, there's a lot of questions. She has like a playlist made for beginners, and you can just get to know the basics. Then where to change the money. So I would first advise you to try to go to your banks in your country and to try to change your euros in Czech koruna or whatever your money or your currency is, because it's always good to have some cash on you, especially that you will go to maybe most remotely part of the Czech Republic. So in those parts, they might not like all the shops might not take the card. Of course, most of them will, but you can end up like in pubs where you can only pay in cash and this kind of thing. So even sometimes for the bus, it's good to have some cash. Apart from that, if you use a Revolut or this kind of internet bank where you can like change your money from euros or whatever the device, the currency, sorry, into Czech crowns without a fee. So always good to use that, to have them and to use them. Mm-hmm. And then regarding specific things that you should bring to the Czech Republic, I said you can more or less bring anything you want to share with other volunteers and also with local Czechs. So it can be anything from music instruments, if you would like to play some music during the evenings, some food that is personal to you. I know, for example, for me, when I arrived in Czech Republic, coming from Belgium, I gave some, for example, chocolate to my flatmate, and I gotta say that they loved it. Mm-hmm. And also felt nice to give them something from my country, you know. But sometimes also, if you want to like cook traditional recipes from your country, you might want to take some special ingredients with you because you might not be able to find them in the Czech Republic. Yeah, I say this because it's really common event that at the work camp there is like one evening who is dedicated to like intercultural recipes and intercultural evening where everyone would just eat the food from all over the world and like do some food sharing basically. And also, if you are not able to bring the ingredients or the food, you can also just print some recipes and to give them to other volunteers so that they can reproduce the recipes when they will be back into their home countries. Then I say some hiking shoes, because in Czech Republic, you don't have to go far to have beautiful nature around you. So I believe there's definitely always a good hike in less than 5 kilometers around you. So definitely bring good hiking shoes because it's like also quite popular hobby here. And people will definitely try to make you go on hikes, I think. That's always nice. And then a flash bottle, because if you go for hikes, you will be thirsty and we don't want those plastic bottles. So if you can just bring your own flash bottle and then we will fill it with water.
Yeah. And regarding the towel question, or like it depends on the work camp. Normally, I would advise you to bring your towel. Or for example, in some work camps, it will be also necessary to bring sleeping bag, but it will be definitely regarding this mentioned in the info sheet what exactly you need to bring. But in general, it's the hiking shoes, the bottle, the sleeping bag, the
food from a country,
food, yeah,
or music
food.
instruments. If you play any music, yes. Everyone just like to gather around a musician.
Exactly. And like some also like there will be mentioned medication or like first aid, whatever. Like all of these things, your documents, of course, like what you need for traveling, basically. But it will be everything mentioned in the work in the info sheet. So yeah, no worries about this.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you will definitely have more questions. We're just opening the
chat.
Chat.
I believe Nicole has been answering most of them, but if there are some she didn't answer, or like from the beginning, we will definitely answer them. So.
Exactly. So we will go up a little bit the questions. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, I believe the first one was the towel.
Yeah.
Is it necessary to bring bug repellent too? Depends on the work camp that you would go to. For example, we know we have one is called Back to Nature, so it's like really into the nature. So there might be a lot of mosquitoes around, so you can bring some.
I will recommend yes in any case, actually, because like mosquitoes will be around in summer everywhere. I'm usually the biggest victim of mosquitoes. That's why I say this. So yeah, bring mosquito spray. It's recommended. Yes.
Yeah. Bringing bug repellent can't hurt, except the bugs, of course.
Nice.
Okay. Nico actually already answered. The
Mm-hmm.
info sheet we answered 4 weeks. Currently restriction into Czech Republic, there are none for the moment. Where can I find the best currency exchange in Prague?
Okay, so this is a good question. Usually, yes, exactly. Yeah. Nikki also already answered in the main train station in Prague. They have good exchange rates. They don't do fake stuff. You can find it when you enter the train station. It will be like in the lowest level. You can just go there and you will find it there. You can also see the signs. But yeah, best location. Or even before, and I'll get in touch with your bank and get Czech crowns beforehand, as Alex mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep. So if you have any more questions, you can either write them in the chat or like raise your hand, and we will give you like.
The word.
Yeah, we will give
you can talk to us. We would be happy to hear your voices.
We'll be able to use bikes to move around.
Okay, so this really depends. Paolo, do you have a specific work camp? Like which work camp will you participate at? In the Zamek. Zamek is a castle. Okay, so if it is the ESC work camp, like it depends if the local partner has Janowitz. Okay, so it depends if the work camp, if the local partner has the, let's say, opportunity to rent bikes. If like there is a wish, I'm not sure because the Czech countryside is really hilly.
Yep.
Really hilly. People like a lot to bike actually, and it's crazy actually how high is this biking and cycling culture. But yeah, if you would like to experience it, maybe if you get in touch with your camp leader and they can get in touch with the project leader, it could be possible. And you can organize a bike ride, but it depends on the possibility of the local partner and the weather and everything. But in general, it's definitely worth to ask and to show your interest that you have in a possible bike ride. So about
which is the meeting? Wait, we missed some of them.
Before bikes here, can I get in touch? Can I contact the volunteers from my country before you create the group chat, Angela? Well, normally not, because there is a data protection, and before all of the volunteers haven't filled in like the final confirmation, it's not possible. Like we cannot give you because of the data protection. But as soon as the camp leaders have received the information, like the confirmation slips of the volunteers, you will receive the contacts, and then you could organize something together.
Okay, which is the meeting hour? So once again, it depends on the work camp, but it's usually like in the afternoon between 4 and 6. So yeah, in the afternoon. What's the recommendation in Prague?
Okay, so we have basically a few. I'm sure that maybe Alex, when you send around the PowerPoint,
yep,
we could also maybe send some links. Like in general, I mean, it's of course we do no advertisement for for hostels, but I remember that last year we had like our COVID hostel, let's say, over where people could technically go to quarantine. It was the check-in hostel. It is in Vinohrady, Prague too, so quite central. And there are also many other hostels. There are couch surfing people in Prague. If you know couch surfing, that's like a platform where you can basically stay at a person's place without paying, and you have the opportunity to get exchange. You just have to apply to the platform, for example, or also Airbnb, but we can definitely send something around like for this Remy.
Yeah, me personally, regarding the hostel, I visited Prague. I think it was back in 2017, and I stayed in a hostel. It was like it was more or less a chain. It was called Ahoy Hostel, so AHOG J, and yeah, it was pretty good experiment. So also, if you see like Ahoy Hostel, you can check them out.
Ahoy Hostel, it's like Ahoy Donkey.
Ahoy Donkey.
Hostel is a donkey.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that. But this place.
Nice. Okay, I didn't know that.
Do I need a local currency when I have a credit card? I would say yes. You would need some, because in some places you might not be able to pay with a card. But of course, when you can pay with a card, use the card. But I would advise you to have some local currencies. It can always comes in handy.
Yes, definitely. Especially when you go to the more rural areas, would definitely recommend. I'm living in the Czech Republic for like 1 year, and still I haven't learned my lesson with that with getting Czech crowns, because I'm also used to pay like things only with my credit card here, but like it's really necessary sometimes. So yeah. Get some cash. And also there was
how can we get in touch? This I think you somehow answered.
Yeah,
Computer got in touch with you. Yep.
Yes, Paolo. You can get in touch when we send the info sheet. Deadline is 4 weeks before the work camp starts. There will be the contacts of the camp leader, and you can either contact them or they will contact you. Like they will definitely need to contact you because it's their responsibility. It's our responsibility. We will both be camp leaders. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
What can I do if my flight arrives at 10 p.m. at Prague airport? Are there transport?
Yes, there are like buses,
Yeah.
frequent buses going to the city center, and from there they will take you like to metro station, and then from there you can either go tram or a metro. Yeah.
Yeah, but to reach a WordCamp location itself at 10 p.m. it might be a bit hard. So maybe you would need to like sleep in Prague for one night before actually being able to go to the WordCamp.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, make sure you. I mean, of course, like in like emergency cases, it's also okay to ask if you could arrive later, but please try and book some connection that enables you to arrive at the WordCamp location more or less on time.
Yeah.
We understand it's a difficult situation sometimes when you have to travel from afar, from far countries, because of course the flights are more strict and you cannot be as flexible, but still we would like to ask you to carefully choose when to arrive and also to communicate it to your camp leader. That's maybe the most important thing, so they know that you're coming when you're coming and that you're not lost on the way or sometimes. Yeah, definitely.
Is there more questions?
Not yet.
Did I miss one?
There was a question by from an ESC participant.
Oh, like above?
Yeah. Wait, a little bit down.
And Nicole answered, and so yeah, you will get a Czech crowns for the ESC WordCamps.
Yeah.
For the pocket money.
Yeah, pocket money. And a little bit more down, there was like here, Mark, you asked if there's anyone from Spain going to an ESC Center for All. Okay, so maybe in this group, like in the online talk, there is like it's still some time until July, so maybe they will apply more participants. So don't worry if there is no one saying yes or no at the moment. You will have definitely the possibility to connect prior the WordCamp start. So I like the idea, Mark, that you would like to connect now, but yeah, probably it will just take a little bit more time. But thank you for the question. It's a nice and good idea.
Okay. Also, if you plan easily, let us know so we don't worry about you. Yeah, true. Is it normal to give tips in restaurants, and how much is this normal? That's actually a good way to move on to the tips and tricks, because like the tips culture is part of the Czech culture, and I will explain to you different tips and tricks. But first, there is one last question. When you are going to do the group to connect us, so when we will do the info sheet, which will be at the latest 4 weeks before the WordCamp starts, but we try to send them earlier as soon as possible. So it will be like the camp leaders that will create those groups and connect everyone together.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you keep having questions, like also regarding the tips and tricks that we will go through, don't hesitate to write them down in the chat, or to like unmute yourself and to
scream.
Yeah, to scream. You can say, I have a question.
Yes, exactly. Feel free to do that. Okay, so we will. Okay, Noemi.
Can I travel to the hosting place not from my home country? Time. Okay. Okay. Can I travel to not from my home country? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think you can. So tips
definitely,
and tricks?
like it depends. For example, when it's an ESC WordCamp and you have, then it's a budget question. If you receive travel reimbursement or not, I think it's necessary, for example, to travel from your home country. But if it's just a normal WordCamp, yeah, sure, just communicate it with the camp leader. So that's the most important thing. So now we come like to the last spiciest part. Some tips.
Yeah, so actually the first topic of the tips and tricks is about money, Some of the tips and tricks you already gave them to you by answering the question, but I will still go through them again. So the first tip is, yeah, I think the most important one for me is to get some Czech crowns before coming to the country. And so ideally some cash. Don't take too much either, just like normal amount. I don't know, I should say maybe, yeah, 3,000, which is more or less 120 euros.
Yeah, sometimes they have when you get Czech crowns and you have to do it like at the train station, for example, they have like special discount for 100 euros. They have a good rate, so you can also do like exchange 100 euros or like for, I think it's like 2,500 or 400 crowns depending on the currency rates. Yeah.
Yep. Then I said avoid withdrawing from the ATM, because most of the time you will actually have to pay in order to use the ATM. Like there's like a tax when you withdraw some cash from the ATM, and you don't want to pay that tax. So avoid withdrawing as much as possible from the ATM. And then do not change money at the airport, because there's like at the airport usually bad rates. You will often see those signs like 0% fees. But okay, you don't pay any fees, but the rate you get for your euros or dollars or anything is actually pretty bad. So you don't save up money by going to the airport and changing money. Then another tip was to look at the credit card's condition to know that, I don't know, for example, if you have US dollars and if you pay them in Czech crowns in Czech Republic, if there is like a fee in order to transform the dollars into Czech crowns. So it's better for you to like check the condition to know if there is a fee or not. And if there is no fee, then try to pay as much as possible with your card. And then regarding the card itself, I would say try to come with a Visa or MasterCard card, because it will be accepted a lot of the time.
So you have some questions also in the chat, maybe. Okay, let's look at it. Is American Express accepted in many places? Usually, yes. Like it's American Express. I would say like it's a quite normal credit card. Most of the time, definitely Visa and MasterCard is the most
common
one. But maybe check it with your bank. Like look into the contract. How is it for you specifically? So for the Czech area or the European area, and different currency within the euro.
Okay, so now my favorite topic, the food. What about Czech food? It's not really well known or internationally known. So from what I've tasted, it's really tasty food, fulfilling and pretty cheap. And also keep in mind that traditional Czech food is not vegan friendly. There's usually quite a lot of meat in it. But good news, there's actually a typical Czech dish, which is vegetarian. So if you are vegetarian, you can definitely go to a typical Czech restaurant. If you are vegan, maybe you don't want to go to like typical Czech restaurant, and maybe look for more specific restaurants.
Or you can have fries, hranolky.
Yeah, or fries.
Or kroketti. Like some, yeah.
Some typical Czech dishes are zvíšková, goulash, smažený sír, which is like the fried cheese. This is more or less like beef that has been steering in a sauce. Maybe it's not the right term, but like goulash, I think most of you know. And zvíšková is like usually bread dumplings with a candle sauce and some meat. It's actually pretty tasty.
And it's like a cream sauce.
Yeah, creamy sauce.
Yes, it's really nice. And yeah, smažený sír also definitely recommended.
Yep. Then there's also like two non-alcoholic drinks that are pretty popular in the Czech Republic. Those are kofola and malinovka. So kofola for me is like the Czech Coca-Cola. So this is like a sugary drink that is kind of similar to Coca-Cola, but like the taste of it has actually also some herbs. So it's like pretty herby, I should say, but not too much. But it's definitely typical and it's worth a try, I think. Then regarding Malinovka, this is more lemonade made with raspberries, I think. So yeah, raspberries. This is a typical like drink for kids. This is often what they would take at a restaurant, but don't be afraid of being seen as a kid. It's really good. I actually drank one yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Czechia is a big country. Pro tips, definitely go for some beers. Then for the sauce that are usually like the French fries are served with, there's tartar sauce, which is pretty famous. Because in my country, we usually only take tartar sauce with fish, but here it's like more with everything. So if you can take some tartar sauce, go for it. Then plum sauce, I don't think it's that common with French fries. Actually, it's not that common either, but it's pretty traditional. So if you come across plum sauce, go for it again. You can't get more typical than this. Then regarding the tipping culture, we received a question. And yep, tipping is part of the culture. When you go to like a pub or a restaurant, you should tip the waiter. It's usually around 10% of the final note. But keep in mind also, if the service was really crap, you are not forced to tip. I mean, that's true. Sometimes if you don't have a good experiment, don't feel obliged to.
Yes, it's not forced. It's just part of the culture. It's like no law.
Yeah, it's like strongly suggested.
Yes.
If you don't tip, you will get some funny looks.
But maybe also like if you come from a foreign country, people will be more, you know, like excusing excusing this. So don't worry.
Then tips and tricks about exploring the country. As I said before, I became a big train enthusiast. So it's like the first tip: train is your best ally. They are reliable and cover more or less the whole country. So if you want to move inside Czechia, definitely go for the train.
And the coolest thing is, I experienced when one train has delay and you need to catch another train. Usually, when you tell the train staff, the people who work inside the train, they can call the other train and it will wait for you. That's really cool. I've never experienced that in Germany. We're also a train country, so yeah. In case you are worried about like if you miss one connection, this is a good tip maybe.
Yep. Then when you travel by train or bus, there's usually or almost all the time the possibility to book your seat for a small extra. I would advise you to pay this extra, especially if the train or the bus goes to Prague or from Prague, because there's going to be probably a lot of person inside this bus or train, and you definitely want to have a reservation. Otherwise, you're just going to be standing up the whole time. So sometimes it's definitely worth putting that extra money to be able to see it, especially if it's a long journey.
And sometimes it depends also on the company, the train company where you book it. For example, with RegioJet, it's necessary to book the seat. And it's not like extra, it's already like included in the price. And it's not expensive, not at all. Yeah.
Then mappy.cz is better than Google Maps here. Yeah.
And normally when you ask Czech people, they recommend Mappy all over the time because they have like the biggest included the biggest hiking network and hiking trails, and you can have so many additional like extra information on mappy.cz that Google doesn't have. Like Mappy is really advanced also beyond the Czech Republic. So if you want to support some nice Czech organization, and
you can go.
Yes, you can go with Mappy and download it.
Yeah.
It's also very intuitive. Yeah.
Then sometimes if you need to get to a specific pub place, like an address of a friend, you might be confused because her house have two numbers, blue and red one, and you have to keep in mind that they are both valid. So most of the time when you receive an address, there's going to be like two numbers. don't panic it means that one is actually the blue one and the other one is the red one, and you can actually when you are in front of the building you can double check two numbers and then you are exactly sure that this is the right building.
Yes. And there is the question coming from Ricardo. If you should buy a SIM card to be connected to the internet in Prague, and how much is the SIM card? So like it depends where you come from. Normally when you come from within Europe, and if you have like a flat that goes also like within Europe, and normally Europe like support, like European countries support each other. But if you come from more abroad, like for further beyond Europe, then I would recommend to get a Czech SIM card. And it's like you can have a prepaid SIM card, for example, and you can decide how much you would like to pay, and it's quite affordable. I don't know if you have.
I keep using my Belgian number here.
Yeah, but in this case, you can also like ask your camp leader for this, because they will probably be Czech, the camp leaders. And I also still have my German number, so I'm not sure about the SIM card. But yes, when you come from abroad, Europe, like beyond Europe, I would recommend to use Czech SIM card.
Yeah,
and it's affordable.
Yeah. Regarding the last tips of exploring the country, I would also advise you to use IDOS. I already talked about it, but like this is the app or the website. There's both an app and a website that combine buses and train together. So it's like the combination of the two enables you to go more or less out of the country. So now, last tips, which is about our capital city, our beautiful city of Prague, where we both live at the moment. The first tip is in Prague, there's a guy, his name is Janek, and he has a YouTube channel. It's called The Honest Guide, and he's really honest. So yeah, as the name said, so it means that he will both say the good things about the country, but also the bad things about the capital city. So he will show you all the best places to go, the place to avoid, and he actually has done many videos about Prague, different topics. You can definitely check this YouTube channel. Then it's like the most touristic things ever to do, go to Charles Bridge. This is actually on the picture here on the right. This is actually Charles Bridge. This is, I believe, the most famous bridge there is in Czech Republic and maybe in Europe. And it's pretty long. It's like forbidden for the cars. So, if you go to Prague, definitely go for a walk across the bridge.
Yes, with other thousands of tourists.
Yeah, there's a lot of tourists. If you want to have like the best experiment, you should like wake up pretty early and go there maybe around 6 a.m. Like during the summer, it's already daytime, so you can take good picture without too many tourists around you. Then I gave you some viewpoint that if you go to Prague, you would want to do. It's like Leiden Garden is at the top of Prague, not too far from the middle. And then actually from there, you can have a good overview of Prague, and then go to the castle of Prague, which is not into this slide, but is also worth a visit. Then at the top of Prague on a hill, there's Petlin Tower, which is a little bit like the Eiffel Tower from Wish, but still it's like really high, and you can have a really good view of Prague. If you're not afraid of height, I would also advise you to like climb the tower. Is you have to pay something like I think it was 50 crowns, which is more or less
for students.
Yeah, for students, yeah. 2 euros. Yeah.
Which is another thing that you could bring if you have an international student ID card.
Tips.
You can definitely bring it with you, because also for the Czech public transports, you can get a discount, and students pay much less. And Czech public transport is normally already quite cheap and affordable. So you can have even more discount when you bring your international student ID cards with you.
Yeah. And then another point is Vyšehrad. This is a place where there is not that many tourists. It's like a little bit more onto the eastern part of Prague, I should say. And then you have like really good view. And then, yeah, if you have some vegan into this call, we wanted to point out that Prague is a really vegan friendly city. In fact, This is a song at the second biggest vegan-friendly cities in Europe, just behind Berlin. So it means that if you would like to go to the restaurant, there's a lot of vegan one, or in I should say like regular restaurant, there's also a lot of vegan options, also into the supermarkets. Jule is vegan, and I believe for you it's not a hard time to.
Yeah, in Prague, I love Prague. I even had vegan svičkova or vegan fried cheese, vegan goulash, everything I could find in vegan. So yeah, if you in Prague, you will find anything.
And then this is the last tips. Maybe Nicole will know this place, and I'm sure she do. She does, sorry. Is go for an ice cream at Crème de la Crème. So it's actually like an ice cream shop near a building, near our office, and we often go there. And to be honest, those are really, 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 really good flavor. And small confession. Me and Jule, just before the presentation, we went for some ice cream at Crème de la Crème.
Yeah, we enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, these are the last tips.
Yep.
Okay, just let me know.
We receive a question. I am Black African. Do I pay particular attention during my stay, for example, against extremists or racist? Well, obviously, I am not Black, but from what I saw, Prague is a really safe city. I mean, I've been there for 4 months. I've been going out. I never saw like any aggression or like into the metro. So Prague is definitely a really safe city. So I'm not Black, but I don't think you have to worry too much.
Exactly, like within Europe, definitely. I mean, I'm sorry if you made any experience, of course, according to this, and of course, like we cannot guarantee that it will not happen, but definitely feel free to always talk about it and to make it a topic within within your work camp group, and really communicate about it if you want to, if you make any of these experience. We want to be like make the work camp an open space. We can feel comfortable also to talk about it, because obviously, like, we cannot deny that it cannot happen. But yeah, I agree with Alex. Prague definitely, and outside of Prague, like also you don't have to worry about any extremist attacks, or for example, like definitely, exactly. So yeah, you should have a safe stay.
So is there still some question that you guys might have? In the meantime, I will drop some link into the chat. I will like stop sharing the screen for some minutes in order for me to find them. Just like, yeah.
Stop share.
Okay.
So back here, that was so we're just trying to catch the link. If you have any more questions, like, we're only 6 minutes behind time, which is okay. So if you have any more questions, like specifically regarding the work camps, it's your camp leaders. And you will receive the information, more specific information with the info sheets. So yeah, we hope, in other words, that this event helped you a little bit to, I don't know, work with some expectations and get to know a little bit, or more curious even about the Czech Republic, and look even more forward to your stay here. Okay, now we have all the links collected, and you will, yeah, Alex, puts them in. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First one message. The meeting was great. Thank you very much for the
Okay.
great motivation. We are looking forward to have you in Czech Republic.
Yes.
Honestly, it's just a pleasure to have more people into this beautiful country. And drop the link. There's a lot of them. So the first one is Mappy, the application we're talking to you about. The second one is the Honest Guide, so the guy that makes video in Prague and is really honest. Yeah, it's his name. Then there was Radio Jet, which is like a private bus company that do a lot of bus journeys inside the country. Then it's IDOS, the application that combines bus and trains. Then what is it? Oh, I lost them. Yeah, Pidlitashka, so the app to go through Prague. And then Check the World is like a really Czech guide to Czech beers, because I enjoy them myself a lot. And if you want to get to know them a little bit more, go through them. It's really well done.
I didn't know them, so thanks for the tip. All right.
And the last one was a YouTube channel of the Czech teacher, Czech with Teresa. So if you want to get to know basic words, go for it. And once again, thanks for coming. And is there something more you want to add?
No, just I'm happy that you will all come, and maybe to see you around, to have you here.
Yep. And we will send you the PowerPoint through mail tomorrow.
Exactly. All right. So at least we can maybe also say goodbye to the watchers on the Facebook live stream.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. And so we can stop the Facebook thing.
Yeah.
So nice. Okay. So now we're all just amongst us again. If you have any more questions, or if you would like to speak up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, we would maybe end slowly but steady our meeting.
Okay.
All right, you're disappearing. So it was nice to meet you. There are no more questions. So thank you, Lisa. It's good to hear that it was interesting and informative. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Also, a small message for Nicole. Can he call you after this Zoom meeting is over?
Yes, sure.
Like a small feedback.
All right, guys. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank
and
you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
You in Czech Republic?